What's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is LaPortia. I live in New York. I have my own production company and I am on a journey just designing my dream life and what that looks like for me. I believe everyone can have their dream life and I'm just documenting that journey here on YouTube. I also have my own kind of talk show series called Coffee and Chat that I upload every week talking about a new topic that just matters to the millennial girls. And yeah, I wanted to come on today because as I am designing my dream life, I'm taking content creation more seriously because content production that has always been a part of my dream life. My background is in television production. I have my own production company, my own web series, and I am taking content creation for myself, for my personal brand more seriously, and I'm actually trying to build this channel, and my goal is by the end of this year 2024 to be monetized on YouTube. That's like my big Q4 goal that I'm working on. So as I'm thinking about my dream life and what does that look like, I'm being paid to create content. I'm working with brands and I'm just really working towards that. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm improving the production of my videos. Every video I'm trying something different. And I'm just thinking about that journey and that process and what it takes and things that I could share on here with you guys that might help you if you're on a similar journey. And then I remember, wait, I've locked in brand deals before. I've done this before. So while building my production company, one way I started making money off of my production company in the early stage was by providing management services. I was a manager to content creators and influencers. So I would negotiate brand deals on their behalf. And I've locked in deals from brands like Fabletics. I've worked on negotiating a Target brand deal, Target Style, different coffee companies, and I have negotiated both paid brand deals and gifted collaborations because I worked with a couple new creators as well that only had a few thousand followers at the time. But you got to start pitching, you got to get out there. You don't just create the content and wait for the business and the brands to come to you. You want to pitch. So I would pitch for my clients, lock in brand deals, and I'm going to tell you today how I did that because pretty soon I'm going to be doing that for myself and I'm really excited about that. So one of the first steps I would do was to create a media kit for the clients. Now, I don't know if that's typical management services, if they provide the media kit, but I was a new business, a new manager, and I actually like creating. So I would just create a quick media kit in Canva. There's lots of templates in there. You could customize it as much as you want, but you want to have a great photo. You want to have your analytics, your followers on various platforms, your top platforms, and you want to have links, social media. And so I would create that as just a one-page document. And then I would have to next identify brands that would be great for that client and try to find contact information because next we're going to their inbox. So I would find contact information for the social media people at these brands that I wanted to pitch because you got to send the email somewhere. So here are some ways you can find contact information. One way is sliding in the DM. I would not send a whole pitch in the DM, but I would send a DM saying like, hey, I represent so-and-so. They are interested in a brand collab. Could you share with me the best contact, the best email address to send over their media kit? I would get a reply with an email address and proceed. Another way is similarly LinkedIn. You could send that same type of message on LinkedIn. Also Google searching, sometimes on especially smaller brands on their websites, they would have contact information. That's another thing. You could go after smaller brands. Everyone does not have to pitch to Target. Everyone doesn't have to pitch to Starbucks. Like, I'll tell you about that in a few, but I actually landed a collaboration with a smaller cafe here in New York for one of my clients, but we'll get to that. So the smaller brands, the smaller company, they're more likely to respond in their DM with the contact information, and they're also more likely to have a contact on their website. And then another little secret way, if you really want to get in there to the larger brands and you're trying to find contact information, you look up press releases. That's going to get you to someone in PR or marketing. Like, let's say you want to work with, I don't know, Papermate. So you would I would search Papermate press release. And the thing about a press release is that there's always a contact information, their PR person at the bottom of the press release. So if you can find a press release online, you'll find the contact information and you could email that person directly about the collab, or same thing, ask them could they connect you to the right person at the brand, and you could get it that way. Another way is sites like, I believe one is called Rocket Reach. I think these are paid sites, but they have like a free trial period where you could get a good amount of contacts during that free trial period. Basically, you could search for a person at any company, and Rocket Reach provides you with the email address. Now, sometimes they might provide you with the email address of someone who no longer works there. This is still a win because now you know what they use for their email. You know that their employee emails are their first name dot their last name at papermate.com, or you know that their employee emails is their first initial, their last name at papermate.com. So now you could go back to LinkedIn, see who does their social media now, see their name, and you could figure out what their email address is and pitch them at that email. Now you have email addresses, you have your media kit, and it's time to email a pitch. So I'll put in some examples of emails that I would send. I would start with a really compelling subject line, like collaboration with, and be a little more detailed. Don't just say your name as your Instagram name, or just your first and last name, because they probably don't know who you are, but just be descriptive, like collaboration with fashion sustainability influencer so and so, something like that, to really pique their interest from the subject line. And then in the email address, of course, the media kit was attached. I would introduce myself, and I would just talk about my client who I'm representing, the type of content that they create, their following. I haven't had a client that had like 100,000 followers, so I would focus on how engaged their followers were. Like, they have a highly engaged audience who look forward to their fashion tips and finds. I would mention any other brands they work with. Even if it was a gifted collab, it's still a collab. Even if it's UGC, whatever you've done, just mention it. Or if you haven't worked with a brand, you could still talk about similar content you've created. Like, say you are, let's stick with our Papermate example. Check out this reel I'm linking here that has my client's work from home, a day in the life, where she features all the different supplies she uses, things like that. Not a collab, but something you just created for your page that is relevant to this pitch. So I would link relevant content, point out their analytics, stress the engagement, have a good subject line, attach the media kit, and propose the collaboration. And do you sometimes get absolutely no response? Yes, you sometimes get absolutely no response, but sometimes you get a response, and sometimes the response is a counteroffer. So I remember pitching a paid collab with H&M, and they did not do the paid collab, but they sent over a lookbook and allowed my client to pick several items and as a gifted collab. And again, when you're starting out, first of all, free stuff is really cool. And when you're starting out with those gifted collabs, that is a stepping stone for you to get to the money. So that's pretty much what I would do. If I would get no response at all, I would follow up in a week or so, or whenever I would deem appropriate to follow up, sometimes after a similar collab. So let's say we get no response from Papermate. However, Bic or Sharpie sends us some Sharpies, and we create a reel about Sharpies. I'm going to go back to Papermate and say, hey, we just worked with Sharpie. Here's the link to that video. Still very interested in working with you. should you have any collabs that my client would be a great fit for. Keep them updated. You're working, you are getting responses from other brands, you're doing brand collabs, whether they're gifted or paid, they're still a collab. But you have to stay in their face. There's so many creators online. Don't just wait for these brands to find you. You go to them, you point out to them your wins and what you're doing and what you're working on. And lastly, I just leave you with another kind of like unexpected success story, which involved me reaching out and getting something really cool from my client. So one of my clients, I was able to get a collaboration with a coffee shop, a coffee company. They have various coffees shops here in New York. So it's not just like a single standing cafe, they have multiple locations. So organically, this client went to visit one of the coffee shops, and because she creates content, she created a reel and posted it on her page. She did it because she loves going to coffee shops and she loves creating content. So I saw it and I took that reel and I reached out to the coffee company. I just went on their website, took a general email address from their website that was there, whether it was collabs at or marketing at, like whatever email address was there. And I sent them an email saying, my client loved your coffee shop. She created this reel. Do you have any opportunity, collaboration opportunities, or would you be interested in a collaboration or something like that? So they did not come back with a paid opportunity, but they did something really cool. They actually did a partnership with my client where they would, in their app, they have an app for their coffee shop. So like in their app, they would put money in her app every month for her to spend at their cafe. And it was a good amount of money. And this cafe wasn't just like croissants and coffee. They served meals. They had breakfast, they had lunch, they had dinner. They had, I think they served even like alcoholic beverages like wine and stuff. Like you go sit in there and have dinner at some of their locations. So they ended up putting money in her app every single month. It was an ongoing collaboration that she could go in and spend and dine and enjoy. And I think all she had to do, because this is considered a gifted collab, not a paid collab, I think all she did was post about it in her stories when she wanted to. It didn't have to be a designated in-feed post or anything like that. She would just go, enjoy, and share with her story, which is essentially, she was doing that, at her own expense anyway, going to cafes and sharing that in her stories. So now she was, being sponsored by the cafe to do that. And that was a cool, just ongoing relationship for several months that she was able to do. And I just thought that was like really cool because it was so unexpected. It was such like a random cafe that she just visited in New York, and you just have to put yourself out there and see what happens. If you're only interested in paid collaborations, that is fine too. You could turn that down. You could let them know, and still keep in touch with them and let them know you would be interested if any paid opportunities came about, and still follow up and email them about those paid opportunities. So I know that gifted collab doesn't work for everyone, or everyone doesn't want to do it, but this is more so when you're just starting out. This is just something to consider, something that you could do. And I thought this collaboration was like really cool. Like I went with her to the cafe a couple times and had lunch, and it was just such a cute cafe, super aesthetic, amazing food, and you just never know what brands or companies or restaurants are willing to work with you. You just have to get in that inbox. So if you are growing on social media, you have an engaged audience, don't be afraid to just start reaching out. You could do that now. I definitely plan on doing that in the near future as I continue to grow here on YouTube. And that was just some time I did as a manager. I learned a lot. I really did it because I'm good at creating decks and media kits and sending emails and pitching and reaching out and things like that. So I just put that to use to help some friends make some money for the both of us, because I did get a percentage of their paid collabs, and it was a great way to kind of like get my company started. So if you have any questions about management, if you have any questions about this type of outreach, reaching out to brands, let me know. I will answer from my personal experience. And I want to encourage you to start reaching out. If you reach out to a brand and you have a success story after watching this video, please come back in the comments and let me know, okay? So thanks for watching. Here's to our journey of growing here on YouTube. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe and thumbs up this video, and I'll see you in the next one.